strangely enough, when the real boys saw the film, I think they were astonished by how these four had captured the sort of the essence of them without having really had that, having spent time together or any of that. For me, there's something about true stories. There's enough extraordinary true stories not to have to invent one, and you as an audience have a bit of skin in the game because of that connection. I read about the story of these four unprofessional young criminals. They had planned to steal millions of dollars worth of artwork in the form of rare books from their university library. They came from fairly good homes and they were seemingly quite well educated. So I began writing to them because at this point in time they were serving quite long prison sentences. And the letters they sent back ended up becoming the basis of the script that I started writing. I was surprised by the honesty of the letters and also really by what they described as their motivations for going through with it, which wasn't always about the money. It felt like each of these young men had very particular reasons. Also, one of the things that came through in the letters was this sense that none of them really ever intended for it to go as far as it went.
Me and Eric would message back and forth just to get to know each other a bit, and then he sent me a playlist of music that he was listening to at that time. And it was cool because there was a lot of stuff I listened to. It was Wu-Tang, it was Johnny Cash, and then from there I could kind of relate to him a little bit.
I mean, I met Spencer once. He didn't want us to hang around him too much or, imitate them or anything like that. So, I mean, yeah, it was just kind of, I was more fascinated by meeting them and getting to figure out their mindset, on what they were thinking and stuff like that. I didn't want to create I didn't want to personate him, so, yeah.
I was supplied with some interview clips, which are for the most part in the movie, and just to kind of get where Chaz's mind was at. I played Chaz to see what he was thinking throughout the whole process, and kind of Bart and I decided that rather than try and impersonate someone or try to get everything right, to kind of put our own blood in it and create our own kind of version of the character while also respecting the story and everything that kind of played out with these guys.
I talked to Warren a little bit and wanted to get in his head and figure out why he did it, what he was going through. And he sort of explained it as much as he could without sort of getting in my head and making me sort of play him. I'm from the Midwest and the suburbs, and I think I just really wanted to do something different than that. I didn't want to go take all the steps, and I think that was sort of something that me and Warren had in common, the real Warren. And that there's this sort of existential crisis about why we're doing all this and what it's all about.
They're 10 years older now, and most of that 10 years has been spent in prison, and they came out very different people. And in a way, for me, what I put in the script was the distillation of what they'd written in their letters, and it felt like the characters for these guys, the characters should be on the page. And and if you get to meet a real person, I didn't want them feeling responsible for to those real guys for doing justice to them and their personalities. Really it was about these guys because they're totally brilliant at what they do. That's their job. They find their own way of creating their own version of that character.
I had a buddy who stole an air freshener in grade school and got busted from Walmart.
He smelled great though.
He did smell good.
Yeah.
But that's about the extent of it.
Yeah, when I was younger, me and my friends would just go by gas stations and shoplift paydays and condoms for some reason, even though we're 8 years old, we thought we were cool. And
it is cool, man. That's cool.
I had a couple sleepovers.
Sweet.
A couple nights, brick rooms,